Okay, so I believe our meeting is being recorded now, and I hope we don't run into any technical difficulties anymore. So basically, I talked about opening before you can use or import your CSV file into the DB Lite browser. You need to open a new database because database is like the collection of several tables. So you could have 50 tables in one database, but you can't have more than one database in a table. In fact, you can't even have a table. You can't have a database in a table. It has to be one table to one database or multiple tables to one database. So the database is like possibly maybe AUJ and Sons is like they have a collective database for their customer information. They have a collective table for their employee information, their products information. All these tables are inside AUJ and Sons database. Okay, so that's why we need to open a database. So before I do that, if you're finding it hard to open something, maybe what we did yesterday, you just click on file, then you should see your file around somewhere here, I guess. The file around somewhere here. So it should be COVID-19 report, like I said yesterday. So you click on it and it opens the table you previously inserted. So to start afresh, we'll click on new database. And we want to name that, let's say something different. Real life projects 001. Then we can click on save. So you should have a dialog box like this being opened. Just to give you an extended knowledge of what this is, we can see we have NNPKAIU. So these are what's important stuffs we use in creating a database from scratch. Okay, so I could say create table, whatever, Bobo table, it could be anything. So this create table now, after choosing the create table, I can go ahead to put the columns I want to put in the table, but that's not what we're doing now. That's like a long process. So we don't need this. We'll just cancel this dialog box. Okay. So what we want to do is click on file again, then go to import. So we should have two options: database from SQ file or table from CSV file. So you should go ahead to choose table from CSV file. Then remember, we stored our COVID deaths and COVID vaccinations inside documents, depending on where you store. I stored mine in documents. So it should be COVID deaths. It should be COVID deaths. And let's see. Okay, let's close this. So COVID deaths, I'll just click on open. So I should have something like this showing. You should have this showing also in yours. So there's something we need to change. We don't want unnecessaries in our table. We just want to keep it so simple. So what we have to do is, in this quote character, you have to come here and choose the blank one, which means we don't want any quotes. We don't want any noise in our data set. We just want it clean and fresh. So we'll click on that. Then you should have column names in first line. Yours might be showing empty. And if it's showing empty, you should have field 1, field 2, field 3, which is totally wrong. It's going to give you problems when you're going through your table using SQL queries.
We didn't hear you. We lost you there.
Okay. I said.
Hello, can you hear us?
All right, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, when you were saying column name, you went mute.
Okay, just give me a moment. think I need to put my device on Do Not Disturb. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Just go back a bit from choosing that code character blank.
All right. So quote character should be blank. To avoid noise in your data sets, you would want to leave that blank. Okay. Then yours should be showing column names in first line, should be showing blank. And if it's showing blank, you would have field 1, field 2, field 3, and all that stuff. Trust me, you don't want that. You're going to have a lot of issues. What if you should leave that this way? It means that the original column names would be in a cell, would be in cells like this country, Afghanistan, Asia, and there are no more columns. They are now rows instead of columns. So what you want to do is click this checkbox. This takes those column names to their original states as columns. All right, so that it will be easy for you to query through your table or your database. So after doing that, then you're good to go. Just click on OK. And you should be importing your CSV file. So you just wait for that to import. We are going to do the same thing for the COVID vaccination table. You click on import and just the same process we used. Okay, so that should be documents, COVID vaccination, open, make sure that it's checked. Okay, if you have checked it the first time, I think it should be checked to whenever you stop using XFill Lite DB browser. So the only thing you have to make sure that is your quote character is on blank. Then after that, you can click OK. Everything is set and it's fine. So that should import. Okay, so now that we have gotten to this place, the next thing we want to do is make sure that the variables, the tables, the columns in our tables have the required variables. We don't want total vaccination to be shown as a text. We want it to be shown as a number, to be recognized as a number, so that we can do some calculations on that particular effect. All right, so what we are going to do is click on COVID deaths. We just one click on COVID deaths. Then you see modify table at the top. You click on modify table. It will then ask you, editing the tables requires to save all pending changes. Now, are you sure you want to save the database? Of course, we want to save it. So we'll click on save. Then once you click on save, you'll be seeing this checkbox. Okay, so now this is where the real business begins. So I'm going to take just 2 questions. Okay, I'm going to take 2 questions, then we can continue. 2 questions that we can continue. So I'm a bit fast. All right, Sunday, you can go ahead.
That she's saying we're a bit fast, but obviously we should all raise up our hand if you want to talk, because it's a bit confusing if we are not raising up our hands.
Thank you for that, Sunday. So is any other person having the same fast issue, or is it all the common issue? Is that the common issue, being fast?
I have a different question.
Okay, Ms. Fura, go ahead.
Yeah, my create table is not selected. Is there any reason to that?
Your create table is
I'm
not
unable to create the table because the same as the create index, the modify table, they are all not selected. Like I can't click on it.
Okay, then that means you should. Your create table, is it empty? The information there, is it empty?
There is no information there. More like I can't click on it. So I can click on new database and see that I can actually select a new database.
Okay.
But I can't click on the create table to create a table.
Okay.
Because it's not working.
Okay, I want you to cancel that checkbox.
Okay, I've done that.
Then go to
Like I should
file.
get out of SQLite.
No. That create table box, there's a box that opened for you to create a table. The same one you're seeing here on my screen.
I'm not sure I got that.
For you to be saying your create table is not selecting, and that means it's actually empty. There's no information there, right?
No, yes.
So I want you to cancel that box that opened. Just not the SQLite application, the second box that opened in the SQLite application.
Okay.
Yeah,
Second box.
the title is create table. I don't know if you get me.
My create table is not even select. Like I can't even get into create table. That's what I'm saying. Like
Okay.
I can't get into that space.
Okay, what I want you to do is cancel the box that opened. Close the box that opened.
I don't have any box opened actually.
Okay, so can you?
For me, that was get out of SQLite entirely.
Okay, so have you created your new database? Hmm?
Oh, okay. I get now. Let's say relive whatever. Live project. Live underscore projects. And then let me see. Okay. So that means I've not been following. And I go ahead and create my table. Thank you guys.
No, you import. You go ahead and import.
Import the CSV files.
Okay, I have to import the CSV files.
Yes.
Okay, you can close that checkbox now. I'm back, guys.
Okay. Then I come here.
Go to file.
Import.
Yes, import table from CSV.
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you very much. So here we have this. And then we open this. Is Daniel back on the call?
Yes, I'm back on the call. I had.
Okay, let me stop. Thank you very much. I'm done. Thank you.
I had a massive network issue. So.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
All right. So I hope.
Please, my question is why we were importing the CSV file. You said we had to reduce some noise. I think I lost it towards that side. And I think in the code character, I think you chose something. I can't remember.
Okay. Just to make this session fast, the video is recorded, but after I make a little bit of progress, I'm going to come back to that question and I will deal with that. Okay. All right. So we stopped here. So now that you have this opened, okay, I'm going to try and go as slow as possible as I can, but without distraction.
Excuse me, Daniel, please. How did you get this open? Because I couldn't see it. You were so fast that I couldn't grab what you did here. And I'm sure other people did too. Yes, I need to.
All right. So that just one step.
Sorry.
Sorry?
You know, yesterday when you were teaching us, you didn't, when you actually go through this table, you didn't say we should rename it. So now, this morning, you are renaming it. But what about people that have done it yesterday because of the COVID death? I imported it yesterday. Do I still really need to rename my table again this morning?
No, you don't have to rename it. That was why the first thing I did was to open the previously saved table. I told you how to open the previously saved table.
Yeah, which I've done that.
Yeah. So all you just have to do is import COVID vaccination.
I've done that. Okay.
All right. So I'm doing it. I'm renaming it for the people that I just wanted to start afresh, for the people that did not really understand what's going on there. Okay. So what I want us to do is click on the COVID deaths. Okay. So to open what I opened previously, click on the COVID dates. Then just at the top here, you will see some options: create table, create index, modify table, delete table. Click on modify table. It should give you a question like, do you want to save the database? Say save. Then it should open this box for you. That is how I got here. Okay. So to make this easy, what I want us to do is going to be a long walk, but it's totally worth it. So for this population, from anything from population down to test units, we know that they actually have to do with numbers. Looking at our Excel table, our Excel sheet, we found out that everything is numbers, numbers, numbers. From ISO code to date can be text, but from population down to the last column has to do with figures, numbers. So what we want to do is convert every one of them to real. Now, integer has to do with whole numbers, okay? Integer is as good as whole numbers. I'm sure we all know that. But why we are choosing real is because there are some columns in our table that have their figures as decimal numbers, maybe 0 0.9, 0 0.6. And this real function here is capable of housing both whole numbers and decimal numbers. Integer is for only whole numbers. While numeric, you can ignore that, okay? But real is for both integer, is for both whole numbers and decimal numbers. So that's why we're choosing real, to make everything real. So we can make everything real just to let it be in a uniform manner. So we don't have to use convert or anything like that. Because if you're choosing integer, real, numeric, you might have to use a function called convert. And trust me, it's kind of confusing for anybody that is just starting off in SQL. Okay, so you can go ahead and click real for everything we have here. It's going to take a while to just do that, maybe 5 minutes, but it's better off to do it that way to avoid wahala in our. Okay, so if you have your SQLite open, you can go ahead and do that. So just convert everything to real.
Daniel, sorry, did you say from population to the last column, right?
Yes, from population to the last column should be transformed to real. Because population, we have to do some calculation on population, and we need it to give us the exact figure. So we have to do that. Okay, so wow, when this real work. So I'm almost done. Okay, I'm done with that for the COVID table.
Can you give us 2 minutes so that we all are on the same page, please?
Yeah, please go ahead. So at 10:40, I would kick off again.
Mr. Daniel, please can I ask a question while we are attending to this real change?
Okay.
I'm looking at my own DB software. I realized that on yours, the bottom right part has this DB schema with the same thing you have at the top left part, but mine is blank, so I don't know why that is showing.
Okay. Just get to this stage, then let's see if it takes effect or if anything changes.
I'm done with this stage. I'm done, so I'm waiting for. I just wanted to ask why mine is showing the one.
Okay then. What I would just say is let's wait till we go into queries, because when we do queries and you save it in view, save a table as a view, I think that should take effect there. So if it's not showing, there's a possibility that
Maybe you're on remote. Click on this.
It's not even showing remotes. Mine is blank. No remotes. Nothing is showing.
Because the same question was asked yesterday. Okay.
okay, I think you can just ignore that. That's not necessary, yeah, because I removed my schema and I realized I could make it blank. So you can ignore that for now.
Okay. You can just click the view menu.
Yeah. The most important thing here is your database structure. Everything should be taking effect in this place, your database structure. Then this is where we write our SQL commands. So
All right, so after changing it to real, should I just okay and leave that space?
yes, click on OK. Then we'll do the same for COVID vaccination.
Okay.
Sorry, Daniel, my network broke out at some point. Please, are we taking real for all for some specific ones?
I did not get it, sorry.
Okay, I said I broke out of network at some point. Are we taking real for all of
Population.
From population downwards.
population?
Yeah, from population downwards.
Okay, thank you.
After we click, we change it. Can we say okay?
Yes, you can click on OK. Then do the same for COVID vaccination.
Okay.
Right. So for COVID vaccination, you should start also from population and just reel everything. Make everything real. I could easily say integer, but I know that there are some columns that have their values as decimal places. So it's going to, yeah, it's going to round it up to a whole number, and I really don't want that. I want the exact decimal figure in percentages because we'll be needing that. So, okay. So for the COVID vaccination, you realize that some of them are already in real, so you can just leave that the way it is, the ones that are already in real. Okay, so when you're done, you can go ahead and click OK.
I have a question.
All right.
So what if I'm already working on the data? Can I still come back here to modify the table, or you have to modify it before you start working on it?
You can come back to modify the table either way, anyhow you want it.
Okay.
Yeah. It could actually be done anytime. When I was working on this project, I was using Python to do some, just to play around with it. Then that was when I realized I realized my calculations were not working. So I wanted to do my cleaning with SQL before going ahead with whatever I was doing. So it could be modified at any time. Okay, so Bello just suggested something. After selecting real, you can press tab to the next box and R for real. So it's faster that way. So if you want to use that method, that's really good. That's really good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead So what I want you all to do now is after doing this, you should click on File, then Save All. Click on this Save All.
File, save all.
So that means everything you've done so far has been saved. Okay, trust me, you don't want to do this all over again. So
Sorry, please, I didn't get that. Did you say we should save the file or what?
when you're done with this, click on File, then Save All.
Okay.
All right. So we are going to do some SQL SQL coding, or what would they call query languages, and so you can click on this execute SQL just at the top here. So you can click on execute SQL at the top here. So we want to now see how this works, okay? So for those of us that would have opened the link I sent on W3 Schools, if you had learned one or two stuffs there, this would really be easy for you to understand. This will be like your aha moment. So we can say, so we want to see the total amount, all the tables, all the rows, all the columns in the COVID deaths table. So we say select all, we use asterisk for all. Select all from COVID deaths. So we can just run that. Okay, so everybody go to the database structure. Then on their COVID deaths, click on modify table. Then remove the hyphen. Okay, just add the name here. Remove the hyphen so that your SQL won't be confused. The SQL query won't be confused. So remove the hyphen between the COVID and deaths. And also do the same for vaccination. All you just have to do is remove the hyphen.
What if we use underscore?
If you use underscore, that's fine. That's fine, but I'm not sure about that. But I would say you should remove the hyphen and leave it that way. So we are telling it to select all the information from COVID deaths table. And as you can see here, it has opened everything. So we can see AFG, Asia, Afghanistan, start date.
Where do we go to remove the hyphen? Where do we go to remove the hyphen from it?
The same way you changed it to real, just click on that modify table.
Okay.
Then you will see the name just at the top, COVID deaths. Yeah, yeah. So now we are looking at select all information from COVID deaths table. So this is all the information we have.
So Danny, I didn't get that. I didn't get what you just did now. Please, could you repeat yourself?
The same way you modified your table, selecting real. Do it that way. All you just have to do is when you click on modify table, at the top, you're going to see COVID deaths. Remove the hyphen there and click, just remove the hyphen between.
After you've written select, yeah.
Where are you talking about? Are you talking about the query?
Execute SQL.
Okay, all right. So execute SQL. What I'm saying here is select asterisk. Asterisk is for all. Okay, asterisk is for all. So we are telling it to select all the information. That is, we just want to see the COVID table, the COVID deaths table, everything in the COVID deaths table. So we are saying select all from COVID deaths table. This asterisk simply means select all. Okay, from COVID deaths table. But in SQL, we don't use all, we use asterisk for all. Okay, so if you want to say all, select all information from COVID death table, it will be select asterisk. from COVID deaths, that's from the table name. It could be any table name, but for now, we are working with COVID deaths. So when you have done this, you can highlight your query command, then click on this place sign at the top. So when you click on the place sign, it shows you this information at the bottom. Okay, so now we want to.
And I'm having an error. I don't know why. It's telling me that the symbols, oh, sorry, it's fine. Thank you.
Daniel, please, I'm having an error as in the whole thing is somehow like this is telling me there is no COVID death with because I removed the hyphen and whatever it is. There's no such table like that.
So from your command, remove the hyphen in between COVID and death.
Well, that's what I was asking. How did you get to removing the hyphen?
Database structure, go to modify table, click on COVID deaths, go to modify table. In between COVID and deaths, remove the hyphen. There's an hyphen there before. All you just have to do is clean it out. Backspace, remove it.
All right, okay. Let me do the same for this.
Then do the same for COVID vaccination. Are we good to go? Yeah, good to go. Okay. So the next thing we want to do now is we want to see all the information in the COVID vaccination table. So we'll just.
So once I'm done with that, sorry, I have to take you back. Then how do I get back to this?
SQL.
What?
Execute SQL.
Execute SQL.
Just
Yeah.
click on the top. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So the next thing we want to.
Daniel, Daniel,
Yeah.
you put the semicolon yourself.
Yes, you should put the semicolon yourself. So semicolon signifies, yeah.
Yeah, you put the
Yes, you
semicolon
do.
yourself.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So semicolon signifies the end of your query or your code for SQL. It signifies the end. So you want to do the same thing for your COVID vaccination. So you say select all from COVID vaccination, then you highlight it. Then you click on run.
Daniel, you know when you want to write, like let's say you want to write COVID vaccination, sometimes it writes it for you. How do you select on that instead of you typing all over again?
You just use a tab.
Yeah,
Use a tab. The tab button.
Okay.
all right.
All right.
So, okay, so select all from COVID vaccination. You highlight it. Why I'm highlighting it is because we'll be writing so many.
Go ahead, Daniel. Is it still on?
I'm sure it's having some network issues.
Can you hear me?
Can't hear you, Mr. Okay.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so why I'm highlighting this particular code is because we'll be writing so many other codes under like in this same execute SQL box. So highlighting it is telling the SQL that this is a particular code I want to bring out the query result for. So when you highlight it this way.
Sorry, you broke up at some point. I don't know whether you said anything in between.
Okay. All I'm trying to say is for every code you want to run, you have to highlight it because you're writing so many other codes beneath it. So for that particular one you want to bring out the query result for, you should highlight it and then run. So highlight it, then click on play. So you should bring out this particular result. So now this is the COVID vaccination table that we've been able to view using SQL command. I don't know if okay, is that good enough? Can I go ahead?
Yes, if you don't mind.
All right. So that's what we just call the baby analysis. Okay, that's the basic SQL command. Okay. So that's the basic SQL command. So now we want to view from what we can see here, we can remember that when we're looking at our table using the using Excel workbook, we found out that there were some continents, there were some countries like location. This country table now, we can see that Africa was inside country, which shouldn't be so. And whenever we see Africa inside country, we'll find out that there is nothing in the continent beside Africa. So that means that the continent was null. There was nothing there. So now we want to view, okay, instead of writing it, I'll just click on. So I want to view the information from the COVID deaths table where continent is not null, which means that where there is no empty space for continents. All right, so I'll just say where continent is not null. All right, so what this means is that it's going to bring out the information from the COVID deaths table where country is country and continent is continent. That means there is no error, there is no Africa in country, there is no empty space in the country. Everything has to be correct. But if I should say where continent is null, we are going to say that it's going to bring out the error. So let's try where continent is null. Let's see what it gives us. So we can see continent is null here, right? And we can also see that the country here is showing Africa. The ISO code is showing OWID AFR, which means that it's actually wrong. Now, if you look at the population in Africa, it's a lot. That's, I think, is 1 to 14 billion or so, or 1 billion. That means this can only mean that this is giving us the total population for the African continent as at 2020. You can see everything here is the same thing, which means that it is as at 2020. It's giving us the exact total population for Africa. But we are not interested in total population for Africa. We're interested in those individual countries in each continent. So that is why we are saying where continent is not null, we highlight and we run that. So now we can see ISO code is AFG. This ISO code means country code, right? Continent is Asia, which is correct. Country is Afghanistan, which is super correct. Then dates, we have that. Now, all these new cases and other ones should be null, because what it simply means is that people did not start dying at this particular date, but there were new cases they were like new cases as at 24th of February 2020, but people did not start dying, which means that they were managing themselves. And from here, we can tell how long it takes for someone to die in the Middle East, like Afghanistan. If you are contracting COVID-19 by 24th and you are dying by 17th of March, so that means it takes some particular amount of days for COVID-19 to kill you if you are in the Middle East. So
sorry, where did you see 17th of March?
I'm just assuming, like I'm just assuming a date. for when people started
Can we
dying.
say 24, there was no death? Then on the 29th, there was death. New cases,
So
new cases, just
on the 24th, there was a new case, which means that 5 new people died from got contracted COVID-19. Now,
okay, yeah.
we're not able to notice any new case until the 7th of March.
Okay.
So which means that as at the 8th of March, we had total of 8 cases, which is the beginning 5 cases plus this new 3 cases. Please, if you're not talking, can you mute your mic? All right. All right, thank you. So what it's telling us is that as at this particular date, we are now having 8 total cases, but 3 new cases. But our total cases is 8, which is 5 plus 3 is 8. All right, so we can choose to export this particular table, but what we are just doing here now is data exploration. Okay, this is just for data exploration. So the next thing we want to do is we want to look at only location, that's country.
I'm lost, so
Okay, go ahead and ask your question. I'm taking only this question and we'll continue.
okay, so please, my apologies. Where continent is not known, and then you run it. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yes. I want to know what you did
Okay.
because it's showing me errors. Exhibition finished with errors. Result. Syntax error. Multiply 9. Yeah. So I don't know what I'm missing now.
You can just copy the same code I'm using on my screen. I think that should be better for you.
I think that you did some COVID test. I noticed that.
it also depends on what you state your store as. Like for me, I noticed on the screen, Daniel put vaccination, but mine I save it as vaccinations. So it depends on what you put.
Okay.
Okay, I copied select from COVID test. And then the next line, where continent, that's where it's highlighted. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Is it that where I'm supposed to pick it up somewhere?
No, just right way. I can write type in the way.
I did. Small letters.
It can be small letters.
Okay, what I would suggest, okay guys, what I would suggest is maybe you should try and maybe just look at what I'm doing. Then since this video is recorded, you can go to the recorded version and just follow through step by step at your own pace. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's better off because if you have a visual view of what I'm doing, when you're following up, it won't be difficult for you. You will just remember what I was doing. Okay. All right. So so the next thing we want to look at is we don't want to look at all the columns. We have a lot of columns here. We're not interested in all these unnecessary columns. So what we want to do is we want to look at the country and the dates. We just want to pay attention to country, dates, total cases, new cases, total deaths, and population. Okay, because those are key information. Then we want to see this particular information where continent is not known. Okay, so we just, to make our typing very fast, we can say we are selecting country, right? So country, then after country, we want to select dates. Then after date, we want to select total cases. After total cases, we want to select new cases. Then after new cases, we're interested in the total debt. So it should be giving you the options of the column, so you don't need to type it fully. Then after that, we have population. So where are we selecting it from? From COVID deaths. And where continent is not null. But now we are going to do something wonderful here. We want to order our columns by location, sorry, by country and by dates. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. Okay, so now this is what we are getting here. So I'm going to explain this query. This query means the first one, select, I think is self-explanatory. Select means what column do you want to see? Okay, what are the columns that you actually want to see in your result? That's select. Then from is where these columns you want to see, where are you actually getting it from? Are you getting it from the sky or there's somewhere you're pulling it from? So we are pulling it from COVID deaths, right? Then, okay, so what is the filter you want to use? Do you just want to see everything or there's a particular filter you want to use? So where, this where clause is a filter. It's more like a filter, you're filtering the whole thing. So our filter clause is where continent is not null, which means that where the records are correct. So this order by country, we want to order it by the country with letter A, that's in alphabetical order. Then after ordering it by alphabetical order, we want to now order it by dates, all right, by date. So this date means it's not going to be 1st of January 2021, 2nd of January 2021. It's going to be 1st of January 2021, 1st of January 2022. All like that. So this date, the main order column, if I should remove these dates, sorry, if I should remove these dates and put order by country DESC, this means that in descending order, it should start from the country with the last alphabetical order. Let's see where that takes us. Is there any country with Z? I doubt. Okay, Zimbabwe. So now we can see that Zimbabwe came up first because we are telling it order the country by in descending order. Order it by country, but let it be in descending order. If you do not signify whether it's descending order, it will automatically order it in ascending order. All right, so I will just remove this DESC and run this again. So now we have gotten our country, dates, total cases, new cases, total deaths. So why are we doing this? We want to be able to have a concise view of the information we're working with. Okay, we don't want unnecessary columns. So we want to be able to tally total cases, new cases. We want to know when there are new cases and actually when there are deaths. Okay, so if you look at it, it was when there were 40 total cases. That was when one person died. And if you can remember, the cases started from 24th of February, right? And now, if you can see here, the death was at 23rd of 2020. Please, looking at the dates, what can someone, like, what is the insights you've just drawn from this? Anyone?
The date it happens.
Yeah, we can see that it's the date started from the infection dates, total cases, or a new case started on the 24th of February. And the first time someone died because of COVID-19 in Afghanistan was at 23rd of March. Okay, so what can you derive from this date? What can this date tell you? Anybody at all?
Sorry, which one did you run? Which one did you run to get? You say month?
This is the one I ran, this code.
Okay.
Okay, someone said something, please. Kendi. Your hand is up.
Yes, yes. I was saying it took like a month before death occurred.
Exactly. Exactly. So which means that
Death occurred like exactly a month after.
yeah, so that means it takes
It takes time before the disease spread.
Spread or took effect and led.
so that means between 24th of February to 23rd of March, which is 1 month, it means that without vaccination, it takes 1 month for someone with COVID-19 to die without proper treatment. In the Middle East, it takes 1 month for someone with COVID-19 to die. So which is really bad. So if we continue to make our if we continue to scroll down, we can see that someone else died on the 26th of March. That's total death is 2, right? So that means one more person died. So if we compare this 26th to this date whereby someone had COVID-19, we can see that there were no new cases.
Yes.
So 24th, between 24th and 26th, we can still assume that is 1 month, right?
Yeah.
So that means we could approximately say that it took 1 month. It takes 1 month for someone with COVID-19 to die in Afghanistan. So we can keep on going with this analysis as long as we want. So why people might be dying later could be because of maybe underlying sickness. Maybe the person had diabetes. COVID-19 came to add his own wahala on top. So maybe that's why the person is dying exactly 1 month, because we can see that there are some people here that are staying more than 1 month. Even when there were no new cases, they were staying more than 1 month. Okay, so what we can derive from this is that one of the things that could influence how much or how long someone lives with COVID-19 could be immune system. How strong is your immune system? The second thing is, how do you have an underlying sickness before you had COVID-19? Because that's another question you would want to ask yourself. Was there, because if you had, let's say you had cancer and you're having COVID-19, it might even take you 2 days to die, because that's too much for one person, right? So that's what we can derive from this particular code that we've written. Okay, we're able to see how long it takes someone to die, and if we go further, we can then calculate the death percentage of people in Afghanistan. So now we want to change it to Nigeria. We want to see the information from Nigeria alone. Okay, we are not looking at Afghanistan anymore. We are Nigerians. So let's see how this is represented for people in Nigeria. So to filter it to Nigeria, sorry, I'll just okay, sorry, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, so to filter into Nigeria, we're going to remove order by country because Nigeria is already a country. So we'll say where country like Nigeria.
Do you put percentage? Or
Yes.
what do you put in front of it?
That's percentage. I'm going to explain that later on when I'm done with this, but I want you to see what the output will be. So select country, dates, total cases, new cases, blah, 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 from COVID death table, where country like Nigeria. Okay. Now, why I'm putting this percentage is, this percentage is called a wild card. What it means is that it could be Federal Republic of Nigeria. We don't know what is before Nigeria and we don't know what is after Nigeria. So maybe they had written Nigeria as Federal Republic of Nigeria, or they have written Nigeria as Nigeria, Federal Republic. We are not aware. But whether it's Federal Republic of Nigeria or Nigeria, Federal Republic, as long as that country has Nigeria in the name, that's what we are looking for. Do you understand? Or okay, I'm sure someone has a question, please, because the silence is a sign of confusion. So I'm just going to take a pause here and allow 2 questions. Okay, Sunday, go ahead.
My question is from this query that we are actually writing, we can tell the total of people that died and how long when they contacted the COVID and how long it took them for them to die.
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to put that one.
Yeah, and instead of this like, can we use like is or
No, that won't work. That won't work. So why the like operator works with wildcard. So wildcard is what we use to check for so if I should say underscore let me see if this works. Okay, so underscore is not able to work. So what this underscore I think simply means is if there are which means that there is something before Nigeria, you are sure that there is something, a particular word before Nigeria. So maybe it's one word or 2 words, and you're using underscore. The SQL query is going to recognize that code and look for maybe a word or a sentence where it has a letter or something before Nigeria, or there's a letter in front of Nigeria. So why I'm using this percentage is you are not sure. You're saying that in case there's a word before Nigeria and there's a word after Nigeria, as long as that word has Nigeria in it, that means that is the country we're looking for. You understand? So, yep. So I'm going to run this code again. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to look at other queries. And I'm going to show you how to save this query so that you don't get it lost when you restart your SQLite browser. So now we're going to do some little calculation. Okay, we discovered that total cases, we have total cases, we have total deaths. And if we should divide total cases by total deaths and multiply it by 100, it's going to give us what we call death percentage. That's the death rate in a country, right? So I'm going to copy this. So before I continue, I'll just use double hyphen, and I want to show the likelihood of someone dying if they contract COVID-19. So that's the title of this code we are writing. So that in case I'll be sharing the code I'm writing to everyone, so that whenever you see it, you know what I'm doing here. Okay. So what do we want to do? We want to bring out the death rate for the countries we have in our COVID deaths. So we're looking at country, date, total cases. So we don't need new cases anymore. New cases won't give us what we're looking for. We don't need population anymore. Population won't give us what we're looking for. So we need total cases divided by total deaths. Then we have to put that in the bracket so it doesn't mess up. So it follows BODMAS rule. Sorry?
How do you start total? How do you put the total in the bracket?
You just put brackets. You have it on your keyboard. Yeah.
And put divide.
Yeah, you can just put open bracket total cases slash total deaths.
Slash.
Yeah. So then asterisk is for multiplication by 100. So as death rates. So this as is okay. I'm going to remove this. Let me just make this easy. As death rates. Then so where continent is not null. So I don't want to use where continent is not null. I want to use where country, because I told you we're looking at Nigeria, right? We could do this for any other country, but where, okay, let's say United States, because they have large amount of people that had that issue with COVID-19. Okay, and continent is not null. I'm going to explain this, everyone. Okay, so I'm going to explain this step by step. So we want to put our sign here. So if I run this, let's see what it gives us. Now, this, remember the calculation we did is showing total cases divided by total death multiplied by 100. This is wrong. It's correct. The information you're getting is correct, but the view it shows is totally wrong because it doesn't follow a very good practice as a data analyst. So we are going to be using as death rates. This as is what we call alias, which means that is to rename, is used to rename. So we want to rename this total cases divided by total deaths. We want to rename it to death rate. All right, that's why we're using as. So if I should run this code again, okay, if I should run this code again, and let's see what it shows. Now it has switched from that mathematical expression to death rates. Now we're showing it as death rate, not as that calculation. So this information is for United States. And if we go down, you can see total cases. People did not die even after 1 month. People did not die after 1 month. So from what we can see here, we could immediately assume.
Daniel, sorry, please. From COVID deaths, can I see down the code? What else is that? The query. I can't sit down after. Possibly. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Can you remove the highlights? Yes. I see the code. Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay, so I think I made a mistake here. This should be deaths. This should be cases.
I did that before. I just.
Okay, yeah. So that was giving me some funny expression. The rate shouldn't be 2,500. So, okay, so let's now scroll down. Let's look at the rates. Now we can see that this is showing as 4%. So death rates in percentage, I think I can, let me see if I can mess with this a little. Okay, I'm not able to do that. So, okay. So,
Can you see the down part?
All right. So now this is death rate in percentages. All right. So what is telling us that even in the US, people were having COVID-19, right? But if we can see here, we can see that it started on the 22nd of January, but at the 22nd of February, nobody has died yet, even when 16 people had COVID-19. But someone started dying on the 29th of um on the 29th of February. This means that it could also mean that the person had an underlying sickness, or it could be that the medical facilities in the US was better off compared to that in Afghanistan, which practically makes sense, right? Which automatically makes sense because no country in the Middle East can battle with medical treatments or medical facilities compared to the US. All right. So that could be one of the factors. And as a data analyst, you would want to just write that down, be like, okay, medical facilities, poor medical facilities could play a reason here because the date does not tally with that of Afghanistan, which is located in Asia in the Middle East. So from what we can also see, 25 people moved to 32 people, 7 more people got COVID-19, but the total death remained the same. And if you look at the death rate reduced a little bit. Now, if you look at 55 people having COVID and 6 people dying, the death rate went up to 10%. Now, the death rate kept on going up and down, up and down. It started maintaining a particular figure. Now, what this means is that if we go to 2020, if we go to 2022, we are going to see a major decrease in the death rates. I think that was after when the vaccination was introduced. So vaccination actually helped in reducing the death rates. Okay. So that is one thing to note in this exploration, because this is just simple exploration, data exploration we are doing, giving us an understanding of the data set we are actually working with. All right. So I'm going to um, pause here, but I'm going to call on someone. I'm going to call on someone. There's someone I'm looking for. Hold on, let me look on this pen. Okay, I can see we have questions, but I'm going to call on someone.
Your screen.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, TD, can you hear me? Steph or TD? TD, is she on the call? Steph, TD, are you on the call? TD, can you hear me?
I don't think she can hear, or maybe she's available.
Okay, so I'm going to go over to the people that have their hands raised. Oluchi, I think that's you. You go ahead.
Sorry, I raised my hand before when I wanted to ask a question. I forgot to drop it. I'm sorry.
Okay,
But I'm
that's
fine
fine.
actually for how far we have gone. Fine.
Okay, Oji Wachuku, go ahead.
Okay, this stuff is not running. Like I've been trying.
Okay, why is not running?
They're not running, and I've been trying.
Okay, what's the error code you're getting? What does the error code say?
Same as I too. The codes have been running, I've been working, and I'm doing exactly what you're doing. So I'm just waiting for what I've done so that show the video.
Okay.
Execution finished with errors. Results, no match code on country at line 21. You know, and I'm trying to run this second to the last one, yeah. Even the last one is not even running. It comes out and it goes off again with this red thing coming out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
It's tricky
you
because
have your? Do you have what they call it?
Oh, please, oh, I like it.
Okay, what I would just say is if you're having error codes, I would suggest you just take a deep breath and pay attention to the other things I'll be doing. Then when you watch the video and you're still finding it hard to understand, please send me a DM.
one question. Can you,
All right.
the way you highlighted it, can you copy and send it to the chat so that if they want to pick it up and run it, because it might be they leave something out, maybe S or country, because I also was having the same issue, but where I put an order by and I noticed that there's certain things that I didn't put. So if you want to do that, that would be nice for them to run and see if they still get an error.
Okay, sorry, let me quickly say this. Danny, I had same issue. Where you have select country, mine is showing location. I had to go back and study my table again.
Yeah.
For some persons who are going to be
Okay.
doing select country, dates, total cases, new cases, total deaths, and population, kindly check that your data, the details you have is correct with your own table, not just on what Daniel is showing us. So when you check select country, now for some persons it could be location, because that's what I had. And when I did select country and every other details you had exactly, it didn't run for me, it showed me errors and told me where the issues were from the columns. So I had to go back and correct my country to location, and when I ran it, it went well.
So
So maybe
that's
you
the
should just
reason why.
check that. So
That's the reason why I wasn't listening. If you please can just explain it again, because I was fighting with the code, with the query. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to make that available in this SQL queries, and I'm going to put it at the top. Now you should make sure that if your country column, the column name is location, wherever you see country on my code, change it to location. If
Okay,
yours
sorry,
is
I just did that now and it's working. Thank you.
all right,
I
then.
changed to location, yeah. Thank you.
I don't
Okay.
understand location. I have country.
If yours is country, you're doing well. That's fine.
Mine is location, not country. Yeah.
Please, can somebody else copy the last code, that last set of code?
In the chat.
That last code, yes, on the chat. Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so we're good to go. Okay, so I guess this explains. So you could go ahead and change these states to any country you like. It could be France. If we look at France, let's see how France is doing. So we could see France here. So you could change this to any country. You could change this to, but why I'm sticking with states, United States, is because it's what do you call it? It's they had a lot of cases, and if you check the total deaths, people that has died in US, when we run our analysis and you check it on Google, it will be giving you almost the same figure. Maybe because the data has been updated, it will be giving you almost the same figure. So that was why I wanted TD to tell us how it is over there, because I know she's not in Nigeria, she's in the US. So I wanted her to tell us how they had this, or how the experience they had with COVID-19, if they had so many cases and if the death rate was actually high. So that was exactly why I was calling on TD. Okay.
Oh, sorry. If I may ask, like what you're showing the query, the aspect of your query, number 5, it says 5. Oh, okay. I think I was looking at the wrong thing. Sorry.
Okay, I think I'll just number these queries to give everybody. Yeah, go ahead.
Pertaining to COVID in the US,
Okay.
actually the it's actually high. According to the CDC, what really the high number of COVID was the fact that a lot of people, and especially the older ones, they have
Underlying illness.
Underlying, exactly,
Okay.
So illness. So that is actually trigger. And if you do the analysis of the number of people that actually die, it's actually between roughly between the age of 50 upward.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And for the fact that the government did not act on time, also contributed to it. So that is it.
Okay, that's why it's really pretty good to, add research to your analysis on what you're doing. Then after you've done your research or whatever analysis or graph or visual you're presenting, you can put a link for whoever is going to do it to have a case study to look at. So who was talking? What's your name? I did not really get your name.
Steve, Adiremi.
Okay, Steve. Okay, Steve Aderemi. Thank you for that information. That was really wonderful. Next thing we want to look at now is we want to know the percentage of population that were actually infected with COVID-19 in a particular country. So we'll just copy this because we're doing percentages too. We don't want to keep writing the same query over again. So we're looking at the percentage of the country that was affected with COVID-19. Okay, so we want to look at country, dates, total cases, total deaths, and what else? What else? Let me see. Okay.
Population.
The population, yeah, very important population. So we're not using total deaths. I don't think total deaths will be key since we're looking at infection rates. Okay, we're looking at infection rates. Then what we want to be using else is we want to change this total deaths to cases. Then we want to change this to population. Okay. Then we want to change this to infection rate. So I already explained what this as is now, so I guess I'll just go straight to it. Okay, infection. Then we are getting the information from COVID death table. Then we are looking at, let's look at United States. The information there is very key. So now we're looking at infection rates. So as at 2022, 22nd of January 2020, they had just one case. Compared to their population, that's like 2% of the population. Okay. Then if you're looking at total cases, 5 total cases. I don't think this information is correct. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. So I want to look at population too. So, all right. So so if we go, let me go to a date that has a lot of people infected. Okay. Population infected. All right. So if we're seeing as at 5th of May 2020, having this total population, they had total cases of I think 1 point something million. compared to how many population, that is 338 million. They had just 1 point something million, over 1 point something million, over 1 million, sorry, infected. Now the infection rate is 0.35. Now, when this infection rate increased, when the total cases increased by, I think, 20,000 or so, given the same population, the infection rate also increased. Sorry, the infection rates also increased. We can see how it increased here from 0.38 to 0.39. So whenever the total cases goes up, the infection rate also goes up, because normally there should be a relationship between total cases and infection rate, because it's a percentage of the population. We're just trying to look at how many percentage of the population were actually infected. So the percentage goes up all the way down to 20. And from what we know, 2020 was like the year of COVID-19, right? So it only makes sense that the population, the infection rate keeps on going up and all the way down to, so we're looking at, okay, going to 2021, the infection rate kept going up. So if I were to make this in a graph, maybe in a line plot, we can see that the infection rate goes up. It will keep, that line will keep on going up. The trend of that line will keep on going up till even as at 2021, the trend will keep on going up. But I'm sure that the trend should go down, the infection rate should go down as at 2022. I think it should start going down a little, because there were more focus placed on vaccination. So let's see how that plays out. Okay, I hope this goes down, because it's still up all the way. Oh wow. So that means, okay. So that means the infection rate is actually going high in the US, even as at yesterday. As of yesterday, the infection rate is still going high. So why, and if we look at the death rates, I think we should make a calculation for the death rate. If we look at the death rate was actually what was coming down, because US, I think why the death rate was coming down was because the United States have been able to combat COVID-19 in a way that no matter the amount of people that are being infected, they can reduce the death rate. They might not necessarily be able to control how people get infected, but they can be able to control the amount of people that die. So which means that if 200 people are getting infected as of 2020 and 100 people are dying, in 2022, they've been able to reduce it that if 200 people are getting infected, maybe just 20 people should die rather than 100 people. This was as a result of the vaccination that they're using. It should be as a result of improvement in their emergency services. It should also be as a result of maybe they've placed more attention on diets and all that, because if you're eating bad, you might have cancer, and if you have cancer, there's a possibility that you can't withstand COVID-19. So all this thing comes into play. This is something that can be given in a factual basis, but it's something that can be assumed when we make proper research and all that. So I'm going to open the floor for questions now.
All right, Daniel, please, when is the class ending?
In 12 o'clock, we should done 12 o'clock. Yeah. So
I have a question.
all right, go ahead, Ms. Mara.
Okay, is there a way we can approximate our answers?
Yes, we can do that. We can use let me use round. You can use round, open a bracket, then after the 100 you can put 2. So you're rounding, this 2 signifies you're rounding it to 2 decimal places, right?
Yeah.
So you can just click on play. That should round your answers for you.
Correct.
So now we have it. We have the information rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, so you can also do the same for the previous query that we wrote, which is this one, round open bracket, then you can close it to as death rate. So, okay. So do we have any question? Please, the floor is open for questions now. Like you should ask your questions. I can go use the remaining 15 minutes to go back and forth. Tomorrow, what we'll just do is, since I've been able to explain these queries to an extent, tomorrow we'll just do data extraction, bring out the data we want to use from what we've been able to explain. And if you feel that there's something you want us to look at, like a particular data, some particular data you want us to extract, maybe total infection case in Asia, looking at only Korea and Japan alone, that's also an angle. Comparing it to the the giant countries in Africa, maybe Nigeria and South Africa, that's also something we can look at. But if you have your questions, please go ahead and ask the questions.
Okay, Daniel, mine is 7 days DB browser or SQLite on my desktop. I did save it yesterday, but when I tried to open it today to work, it was telling me there was no application to open it, something like that. I had to go back to my mail to download it again so I can do this exercise. So I wouldn't know why it's saying that, because now I have a lot on it and I would love to save it so that by tomorrow I'll just open it up and start using. I don't know if you can help. I use a Mac though. I don't know why. So
Okay, did you download Intel or Apple Silicon?
I downloaded Intel because while I was trying to download Apple Silicon or something, it was giving me an error. So I went back to download Intel and it worked fine.
Okay, I got a mail from someone saying the person used Intel. Who was that? I can't remember the person's name. Someone sent me a mail.
That was me.
Okay, please, can you assist her with that problem? Because I don't use a Mac, so I might not really know how to go about it.
Okay. All right. No problem.
All right, so Oluchi, you should try and reach out. Sorry, who was that? Bello? Okay, Oluchi, please try and reach out to Bello. Bello would assist you. So Bello, look for how you can just communicate with Oluchi on the WhatsApp group, so you can help her. Yeah. Okay, so
I'm grateful, thank you.
all right, you're welcome. So will someone raise their hands? Haji Matusa. Okay, so we have no questions. All right, so
Hello.
okay, Haji, go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, hi. I also had challenges with the Apple Silicon as was giving an error message trying to move it into an application. So I had to go with the Intel. So I've not been able to follow up with what you've been doing because I was struggling with verifying
Okay, please permit me to call you Matosa. The Haji is kind of difficult for me.
That's fine.
Okay, so Matosa, this session is recorded. Okay, it's recorded, so you can refer to the videos. But for your issue with, if you're having any issue with Intel for the SQLite browser using Intel, please link up with Bello. Bello, I think he was able to combat that issue and succeed. So
Okay.
yeah, so link up with Bello. Bello, you have another person on your holding on to you.
I can also work with PostgreSQL if that's not a problem.
No, that's not a problem. That's very good. That's very good. So if you can use that, totally fine. I work with my SQL too, but for cases like this, I prefer the DB browser because it's not much on my machine. The memory is not much on my machine. So.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do we have any other questions?
I have a question, please.
Okay, go ahead, Folashade.
Yeah, for the calculations we did, like the infection rate, the death rate. So next time we want to bring out those tables, we just have to type the column name. We don't have to input the formula again, right?
Actually, you did not save it. That's why I'm going to send you guys these query codes so that you can just copy and paste the query codes. But if you want to save this, if you want to save this as a table, you can go to export to CSV.
Okay, export.
Yeah, just at the top. At the top here, where I'm clicking, where my mouse is.
Click the results, click on the arrow, export, yeah?
Yeah, export to CSV. Then you can save it as a view or export to CSV. But I would say export to CSV. That saves it as a Excel file for you that you could actually go and use anytime you want to. You don't have to call it on MySQL or SQLite browser.
When I click on it, it's bringing another column name in the first line.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Page separator.
For the quote character, choose the blank.
Code character, blank.
Then you can click on save. So column names should be in first line. Make sure column names in first line. That's very important. So check that box, then click on save. So that exports your results as a CSV file on its own.
So do I have to rename it after you click save?
Yeah, you can name it anything you want. You can give it infection rate in United States, depending on what infection rate in United States, depending on whatever you want to name it. Just something that you can remember.
I did UK as well, so infection rate.
Okay, that's very good. So, Kehinde, your hand was up. Okay.
Okay, I was going to ask about us saving it, so you explained that already.
Okay.
And I was going to ask about us saving our plans.
All right.
So are we going to start the saving, for each one that we generate, save, the next one save, like that?
Well, you don't have to. If you notice, I've not saved mine because these are just SQL queries that are giving me insights, making me understand the data. So tomorrow, any query we are doing from tomorrow morning is what we are going to be using to do our visuals that same tomorrow. So we'll be doing data extraction tomorrow and also Power BI visualization tomorrow.
Sorry, it says save as file, command separate value file.
Yes, it should be a comma separated value.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you do?
I said I want to be sure that I will meet this here when I want to continue all my queries, all the things we did today.
Okay. So if you want to meet it here, you just click on File, then Save All.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question in the comment section. The question is, I noticed some part of the dates in the year column is not arranged accordingly. I see some 2020 data after 2022 data. Can we leave it at that or rearrange? You can leave it that way. When you export that file to Microsoft Excel, you can then use filter to arrange the dates accordingly. But if you want to do it in SQL, you can order by your dates and also order by country. That should do it. So, but I would suggest you don't worry about that. You can do that with Excel or CSV or even Power BI. So I have another question. Please, will all the classes be in the mornings? Well, until something changes, but for now, the classes will be between 10 and 12 because that's when the brain is still fresh to accumulate all this information. Okay, so if I should take it in the evening, you might be so tired from the day, and this is some technical stuff. You don't want to be tired when doing technical stuff too. So that's why the morning is actually better.
Daniel, sorry. What's the purpose of this 7? This code. What's the purpose of this 7?
Okay, you know, in number 6 we did death rates. So here we are doing infection rates.
Okay, you're numbering. Okay, different.
Okay, the videos.
Daniel, please, I couldn't, sorry, excuse me, Daniel, I couldn't export to CSV for my Mac. It was telling me to save file, export to file. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Okay, you know what will happen after this session? I will go on a call with you. You share your screen with me, and we can do that
All
together.
right, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
All right, so the video will be uploaded. It's currently recorded. So the video will be uploaded on YouTube and should be the link should be in the group before 4 p.m. today. Let's see how fast the internet is. So before 4 p.m. today, everything will be on YouTube. So okay, I think that's because I want us to close this session by 12 o'clock.
Right.
Sorry?
We are done for today.
Yeah, we are done for today. So this is just data exploration with SQL, okay, and possibly data cleaning. So you can take it as data cleaning. If this is the information you want to do your visuals on, then it's data cleaning for you. But for me, this is still what we call data exploration. I'm just exploring the data set. Okay, so for those of us that are in the mentorship group, you will receive a mail that takes you to a WhatsApp group and also a Telegram group. Okay, so you're going to have WhatsApp and Telegram because Telegram helps us with some stuff that WhatsApp cannot do. So you'll be taken to a WhatsApp group and a Telegram group. Then we were able to reach 20 people yesterday. So I also got some messages from some people today, and I'm sorry I've not replied because I really don't know what to say to you. That was why I have not replied yet. So for those people that still want to get in the mentorship group, you can't be in the same group with those people. But now I was able to speak with Mr. Joseph Arome, for those of you that actually met Joseph yesterday. And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take 20 people just like I am, because he was complaining he has a lot of projects he's working on. But he said he will be able to take on 10 people into his own mentorship wing. But now here's the thing. Regardless of the people in his mentorship group or my mentorship group, we are going to be having the same calls. Okay, we are all going to be in one Google Meet call. Okay, everything we'll be doing is basically the same thing. The only thing that will be different is the one-on-one calls that you'll be having. So for those under Mr. Joseph Arome's group, you'll be having one-on-one calls with him. For those under my own mentorship group, you'll be having the one-on-one calls with me. But when it comes to information, when it comes to the projects that we'll be working on, when it comes to every other thing, they are all the same thing because it's all this one mentorship stuff. But for one-on-one calls, it's going to be with Mr. Joseph Arume. Then for those under mine, it's going to be with me, which is every Thursday. But tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Was that okay? 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be taking calls from anyone, whether you are in my mentorship group or not, and whatever career advice you need. If you're looking for the domain you should go into, we can break that, and I would help you with that. You don't have to be in my mentorship group for that, but for those in my mentorship group, they have me 247. So that's just the difference. So okay, we have hands up. Sunday, you can go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. So probably I was one of the person that actually messaged you about the mentorship thing, but I saw the message late yesterday, so I couldn't. It was too full for me to actually register. So now that you're speaking with Joseph, so I'm thinking if it's going to be mentoring people,
Okay.
because yesterday I know that you had a lot of questions and you answered it personally. But if it's going to be mentoring people, doesn't he supposed to be on the group as well if you want to answer, because it's a different person. We need to ask the question as well.
Okay. Is
So we need to use and all that.
He's actually on the group.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the group, not on this call, but on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
So I'm going to let him know that questions will be coming to him, so that he's going to bring out time to answer those questions. So he was meant to be on this call today, but he had meetings to do and a lot of presentations to do today. So he asked for permission to leave. So, but any questions you want to ask, you can. I'm going to look for a way to pin out his number there on the group, so you can, or you can all send him a message or get on a call with him, depending on which one is able to grant you. So you get on a call or send him a message, and he will be able to break it down with you, break it down for you. Okay, so Mr. Joseph was my colleague in, we worked together in South Africa with Explore AI. And his project, like he said, his project was one of the one he did with his team members were like the best two projects that we're able to do for the company. Mine was not the first two projects. Mine was the first seven. I was actually number seven with my team members. So for his knowledge, I can vouch on his knowledge. He's really good at getting things done, which means he can be good at everything when he chooses to be good at everything. So for those looking to get into the mentorship group, I would just say it's only, unfortunately, it's only for 10 people. It's only for 10 people. Then for those under mine, or either my own or his own, you'll be getting a mail sending you to a WhatsApp group and a Telegram group. Okay, and also you'll be getting an article, something that you can just get your hands around. You can read and prepare your mind for either your data science or your data analysis journey. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, you have a question again?
Yes, I have other things also to discuss. For example, like if do you like I have knowledge in um, project manager stuff. Can you relate it to data?
Okay, project management with data is practically simple. As a data analyst, and you're having knowledge as a project manager, that is like 5 times plus for you, because you will become the lead data analyst. You'll be the one managing the data analysis life cycle from start to finish. It's just like project management. So you are foreseeing the data collection up to deployment. You are the ones foreseeing everything. So if you have an experience as a project manager, either as a data analyst or as a data scientist, you are qualified, very well qualified to um, look or aim for the head or lead data scientist or data analyst position.
Okay, that's good. And for example, like about the payment, because for some people that are not in Nigeria, and it's a bit difficult to kind of like send to unless I get someone to send for me from Nigeria, which is hard. And that's the reason why I missed the group yesterday. So how can I sort it out? Because I want to be part of that group, maybe Mr. Joseph group.
Okay. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. If you're not in the country and you're having problem um paying in naira, please send me a message so I can know the amount of people. Okay. So we can know the provisions we're making. Then for those that are still looking forward to go into the mentorship group and you are in Nigeria, I'm going to open the link. Okay, I think the link should be open now. I'm going to open the link now. Then you can go ahead to make payments. But if you are still having difficulties, please just let me know. Okay, I think I still have time for everyone.
Please, are we done with the class? Can we leave? Because I don't want to miss any info. That's why I'm still waiting.
No, you can go ahead. You can go. You can leave. Every other thing is recorded.
Please, is there going to be another batch for the mentorship, like for the mentorship after March?
Yes, that will be March next year.
Okay, this is running for like 3 months.
Yeah, this is running from this December, January, February, and March. So by the time these people are rounding off, we are picking up the next people. Next batch.
Thank you.
Okay, because that's good.
All right. So, but
So
that's
do we get the link to pay? Because I don't have. Is it on an email or something?
what's so okay for the link to pay? I'm going to put that on the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to put that on the WhatsApp group. All right, but for those not in Nigeria, maybe in UK, US, or Canada, please send me a message directly, okay, on WhatsApp so that I can know how many people we're making provisions for. All right. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for your time today. The video is going to be available, and also an extra video will be available on YouTube, extra data exploration processes for this particular project. So 2 videos will be available on YouTube, this particular one and an extra video, just extra queries that you can play around or something like that. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I would have loved to speak with TD, but I don't think she's available at the moment. Okay. Okay, TD, were you able to follow along? Because I know the time is kind of difficult for you being in the US.
Yeah, it's about 5 a.m., but I'm still here. I followed through.
Okay. Okay, so if you have any questions, please just let me know, because I think I saw your text on WhatsApp and I think I've replied. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, I'll check it and see.
All right, so but every other thing is recorded on the video. So if you have questions, please, everyone, you can keep on replaying and replaying and replaying the video, okay? So, all right, thank you all for your time. Please, I'm open on WhatsApp. If you have questions, please ask me your questions on WhatsApp. I will answer you. And in case I don't answer on the group, just disturb me on my DMs and I'll answer you. All right. So, and also one more thing for the Power BI, we are going to be having someone. She's actually part of us here. She would want to share Power BI skills with everyone. So for the Power BI section of this project, she'll be doing most of the work. Ms. Wura, can you just identify yourself so everybody will know you?
Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so she's pretty good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she's going to do, because I really want to learn from what she's going to do. It's going to be coming from a different angle, and I can't wait to see it. So everyone, with the Power BI, Ms. Wura is going to be handling that for us, which should be okay, not for this project, for the next project we'll be having, which is next week, and that could be World Cup or something about business. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for your time today. Expect 2 videos from me, and that will cover up SQL. And if you have any other questions, please, please, please disturb me on WhatsApp and I will answer you. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day, everybody.